We good? Yeah. All right. All right, so welcome to the September facilities meeting. I'm your chair, JP Prego. Let's go around the room. We got our Assistant Superintendent, Andrew Farina, our Board President, Melody Cunningham, our money man, Drew Bishop, also known as the Business Administrator, our Director of Facilities and Operations, Craig Howard, and fellow committee members, Trina Schwarzschmidt and Keith McCarrick, and our Superintendent, Dr. Alan Roach. So I'll start with looking for a motion to approve the May 28th minutes.
Motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes approved. And we'll go right into old business. So, Valley Soccer, the lights on the soccer fields. I think where we left this off, Craig, you were going to check to see if there are any fields that they could use that had existing lights.
No, we have no lights.
We have no lights.
We have no lights. We did walk the 4 or 5. The gentleman's name is,
Oh, I can't place them either.
Deaderline. Kate. Is that who
Well,
you?
she runs the valley.
Oh,
but
I
yeah,
thought he
like,
said,
I forgot the gentleman's
Her name.
name.
Yeah.
But yeah, we walked that down and we looked at some things and he was very interested. He's still waiting for RJ Electric to get back to him with some quotes and some numbers.
Okay.
So that's the last time we spoke and, yeah, that was it. That's where we left it at. So
Okay.
I guess they will reach
They're
out.
still
once they're
going.
ready. Yes, sir.
They're still going.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, they're using the generators and lights on the fields now, so we'll get through this season and then see what happens from there.
Ball's in their court.
Balls on their
so to
field.
speak.
Good one.
Thank you.
Took me a second.
And the pavilion for the PTFS at Marlboro.
Yes, the last time I emailed her back on 9/13, she asked for site plans. I believe I include you and Dr. Allen and Ms. Stevenson over in Marlboro, that we have the site plans. So I asked her, does she want to pick them up or does she want to meet? So I haven't received the email back yet.
Okay.
Yep, so I'm waiting to hear back from that. But as far as
Craig,
the site plans, we have
Could
the
you
site
could you
plans.
speak up a little?
Oh, yes, sir, I apologize.
Thank you.
I'm getting a little hoarse. It's my allergies.
All right.
My apologies. That's why I have this water. But yes, sir, that's for that.
So when you say site plans, what is she asking for?
I have to give her site plans of the school. I give her from, whatever site plans that we had as far as in the, our drawer, from the school being built, to the side of the area, to where they're looking at that pavilion. It was just zoning. Just she's asked for the plans.
Yeah, she
Do you
probably
want-
needs that to get a price or a quote.
Yep, so I have it all. I have it all pulled out for her, just waiting for her to come pick them up, or I can drop them off to her. Just wasn't sure, does she work at Marlboro?
No.
Okay, so that's all then.
And you could probably follow up with Ally Stevens too.
Okay.
I know she's involved in that.
Okay.
On that too, so. Okay. All right, the facilities grant update for the asbestos abatement.
That's me.
Do you have more papers? please?
I do have more papers, so I'm going to pass them around. So as you probably saw in the board update, we were awarded $495,000.
Thank you.
Now, the overall grant, the overall project for the abatement here at the high school was $1.2466 million, and so, or $65 million. So the grant was a 50-50 match, and so when I presented to you over the course of the spring, you signed a resolution, approved it at the board meeting to contribute $633,000, which would have been the 50%. We didn't get all 633 from the grant, and so what they did come back to us with was $495,000. And so I'm here to present to you essentially the balance of the abatement project would be a contribution of the district for $131,346. And so what I shared with you today, because I don't know if you saw it in May, was exactly what is impacted here at the high school, what that would entail.
Just before you go into
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The $131K from the school, is that on top of the
The-
50% match?
Correct, so,
So
yes.
what's the total then? What
Almost
the total?
900,000.
Yeah, what was the,
No, I mean, what would be the
Oh.
total contribution from the school? So the 50% for the grant plus the 131K?
yep,
Six,
so,
seven, almost 800,000?
Is
yes,
it?
a little shy of that. So it's a 137,346 on top of what we thought, which was 633. So we're only getting 495 of the 1.26 something, 1.266.
So that's about
Million.
600,000.
Yeah.
Minus 495 is 500 and add 131.
137,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the difference between what the board committed in May
Mhm.
is, it's an additional 137,000.
Total 770.
770.
Yep, it's about 800, sorry. And that's,
800's
and
good.
those were, those were the estimates we got. So we have three, just because we had to ballpark it for the purposes of the grant. Some of them are a little below. We use the highest one, so it could come in, but I don't want to be under any illusion that things are getting cheaper.
Right.
So what I shared with you is exactly the footprint of the building here at the high school. The third document is the square footage and exact room locations. So there, as we talked about, it's the fireproofing in the ceilings, it's the tile floors, the mastic, and then the laboratory, those black laboratory tables that are intended to have fire retardant in them. But that's about 2,000 square feet, and so it has those classrooms. So the scope is significant. We were hoping for half of the grant, and we didn't get it, but, we're here to say, do we want to proceed? Is the board willing to move forward to pay that balance? What you need to know, JP asked this question, is that all the costs? Not necessarily, because there are replacement material costs. So some of those, we were trying to ballpark it, and one of the quotes, replacing all the floor tile is about an additional $125,000. So,
Add on to that X 20 plus pipe fitting,
correct,
elbows, and
Yeah,
spray on
foam, the fire retardant in the
the
ceiling,
replacement
so.
tables in the science rooms. I'm trying to think what else was on our list.
So there's an investment,
Mhm.
that we would probably request from facilities to proceed. Because if we take everything out, we would need to replace it, essentially. I would imagine we would want floors and ceilings, so.
Probably a good idea.
Come on, kids.
We would be in great shape from an asbestos perspective. These were the hot spots, according to the 3-month AHERA report.
Right.
And then, we would come back with a balance. We know right now, I don't have an estimate for what the fire replacement, the foam, I don't know that. Craig was not able to get that figure. So we would likely include it in the bid if we move forward. The board accepts the $495,979. We would have to put it up for bid just because of the cost and because it's grant funded.
Mm.
So you can always reject bids, as
Right.
you know, if they come up.
Instantly.
Correct. So we're here today to say, would the facilities committee be willing to move forward and cover that balance? It'll end up being about 800,000, a shy of, instead of 633,325, which was the board resolution.
Knowing there's more money coming on the
Correct.
bank, and knowing there's another 400,000 to 700,000, don't know the total, but could be in that range for the finishing of the project.
But we were going to have that anyway, regardless of.
It wasn't in the 1.2 initial piece, correct? It was always there.
Right, right.
It's just a matter of, with the additional, thinking that we were committing 620, only getting 495,
Sure.
and going that way, yeah. And that's the finishing of the project.
I think we knew that going in. So, and it's a matter of either do it now or we're going to do it later, and the longer we wait, it gets more expensive.
Yep.
So you might as well commit to doing it and getting it done now. As you've heard me say before, when we prolong things and they don't get done,
Bad things happen.
Yep. Been there, saw them.
Agree.
Well, and from perspective of the cost, the monitoring and reporting on the abatement is in the 550,000. So, I mean, it's, to have to do that again, you would have to do that if you open up anything like we did at 4-5, or even previously down in that, by the auditorium wing. So, if we could move forward now, we would be saving on that monitoring and reporting cost, which is what you have to do with
Sizable.
asbestos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with moving forward.
I
Yep,
concur.
yep.
I'm fine with
It
chipping
will
in
be
the
a,
additional money.
it will be a huge project, though. As you can see.
I saw you had phase 1, phase 2 on there.
So we're gonna collapse it, when we were hopeful that we would hear about the grant before the summer,
Yeah.
we had it broken into phase 1, phase 2. This will all collapse into one single project. There are, because of the nature of the contracting, the building will not be able to be occupied.
Right.
And so we will work with probably Barry Isaac for the bidding. TRC is our contractor who does our monitoring. But I would imagine that it will be the entire summer. Because there's posting of notice, and then there's air quality testing, and that will have to happen with lead time before kids can even return. So, I suspect when we have all that, we'll have to come back to facilities to talk about timing
Saying
and impact.
what other things are we
and-
going to push off that
well,
we're not
since
going to
we
be
are
able to
now
get to?
consolidating this into one phase, could there possibly cost savings?
Well, we won't have to incur any additional monitoring costs where we would have.
Which
we
was the
would've.
outside cost,
Mhm.
yeah.
We're
So,
talking about setup and,
Yeah, like set
Yeah.
for the contractor
Right.
setup and
and
mobilization,
even
things
removal,
like that.
I mean, and decontamination for the contractors as they go in and out of the sealed areas.
And all that's included in.
Correct.
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Andrea, does
Just
it
check.
include any of the gym spaces?
It includes all of the gym spaces.
Mhm.
You know what that means, right? You
Well,
know-
that's why I'm here a year in advance,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it has a significant impact.
yeah.
And we're still waiting on the second grant, the 3 million grant for the roof. And so we would also have to tailor that. That would take the building essentially, because it's it's 5 whole roof sections of this building.
What would the timing be like? Like, would they start at the phys ed or the gym
So that's.
athletic end first?
So we would have to really sit and do a very specific timeline, because there are other projects. So if you remember, the competitive grant we secured was to put door management systems on all exterior doors at every building. So those are also included. So we've got all of these grant-funded projects running simultaneous. So we're going to have to phase, but this will likely keep the building when they're in here.
Shut down.
Nothing's gonna be able to happen.
So it'll impact sports, and it'll impact, what else?
Well, you really don't have sports in the summertime.
Yeah, you do.
Except open gyms.
That's,
Well,
those are the
that's
those
not-
are the locations.
Start practice.
So we would wanna give fair
Yeah,
notice.
so you can get
Right, there's a
contingency
lot
plans
of
for other stuff, yeah.
summer rentals, summer groups come in.
And this is a has to, it's not a,
Yes.
it's not a.
This is not a vanity project.
Right,
No, this is.
a has to.
This is
Not even close.
aesthetic. This is,
This is the important stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it probably will look good, but
Yeah.
it is definitely.
Be better for that
Yeah,
price.
Yeah. right. So, all right, so you're good to move forward?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
do we need like an official motion and vote, or just our head nods are good?
Well, I think we've already committed to the grant, the
Yeah.
600 and plus thousand, so I think that, and we have the commitment to accept the grant. That's the most important thing. Let's accept the grant and let them know. Drew's got to send an email, and then you know, we've already met a couple of times beginning to work on the process and move things forward so that this is as smooth as it can be. So I don't think we need anything more formal. I could have a motion on,
That include
you
the
saw
bid?
a draft
That
motion on
include
the
the
other
bid?
day.
Yeah.
but I
Taking
think
it out
we're-
to bid and everything? Okay, good.
So, you know, I imagine that once we start getting cost of replacement, we'll come back and talk about what that looks like, and then bring back the scope of the project with the bid package and that timing, because that process, then we would have to come back and, you know, we'd always bring it to this group first to see, and then the board will approve. So,
I'll double check with Mr. Summers tomorrow and see if he wants a motion just to finalize it, you know, something like that. If not,
Why don't we
can-
just do that right now?
Just do a motion.
Just in
Yeah.
case.
Oh, yeah, if you guys want to put a motion,
Yeah.
we can happily do that to get it on there.
I would like to make a motion to approve Dr. Farina's project, the addition of 137, fill in the numbers.
346.
346. Can I get a second? Wait,
For the asbestos, I was just saying for the
oh,
asbestos.
for the asbestos.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
all.
Okay, and now can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There we go.
You're in.
thank you.
Official. All right. The classroom door, kiosk upgrade.
The update that we have is 10, I'm sorry, can you hear me, Mr. B? 10/18 for the cores to be delivered. We're looking at an evening schedule that I'm putting together, but I do have some of it. Hereford is 2.5 days. 4 or 5 will be 2 days, evening, let me say evening to be clear. And 4 or 5, it will be evening as well. Marlboro, 2 days. So 4 or 5, 2 days, Marlboro, 2 days, Hereford, 2.5.
Okay.
Yes. I'll have another update on the next facilities meeting, but I'll shoot you over a time frame earlier than that. And I'll
Is this-
update the principals.
Is this going to be going on concurrently, or is it going to be
Yeah, we'll do-
staggered one
yes.
after another?
So we'll do, so say for instance, if the docs come in, the 18th is on a Friday, we're looking to start that following week if everything works smoothly, everything comes in smoothly. So if we say we start on a Tuesday, we'll start Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, that's 4 or 5. Then we'll go to Hereford.
Okay,
Then we'll-
Separate.
so it's sequential?
Separate, yeah.
Yeah,
separate.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. A monthly security report?
Real quick, let's go back to the locks. Let's be very clear, as I put it in the board update or one of the emails.
Yeah.
With not having them come in September, the money shifted out of ESSER into another grant. Can you just explain the other
Sure.
grant?
Oh, sure.
So there was a grant opportunity, and we were able to get around 161,000. And so ultimately, it looks like absorbing the 3 elementaries into this grant funding opportunity will take the bulk of it. So it'll leave us around $40,000 left. That grant funding is tailored for safety and security, so I can easily include that amount of money, so it'll end up being like 121,000-ish for all 5 buildings out of this grant. The balance of that grant, we're looking to do one of 2 projects that I have to finalize because it's due Thursday. But it's either, and I don't know, maybe Boyertown has this, but kiosks for visitor management. Right now, they enter the office where there are the availability in captured vestibules to do kiosk check-in before we even let visitors in. The other part of is that part of our policy that was updated and our safety and security protocol is to keep all interior doors locked during the school day. Thus, the new locks as well. But we keep our large group areas closed so teachers don't have access. So adding swipes
Yeah.
on those large areas so teachers can access that. We could do either one of those projects with this grant funding. The principals are vying for the swipes because teachers, like, the main office is not accessible to teachers unless somebody gets up and opens it.
Yeah.
So-
We have this one.
Yeah, and I think that makes good sense, and it also helps us with keeping the interior doors of the building locked, which
Sure.
is the #1 safety requirement.
Yep.
So it's likely that will be the whole balance. All locks, all 5 buildings, and then the
big-
swipes.
The big rooms, yeah.
Mhm.
It's K to 12, the locks. So the locks, we bumped locks out of the bollard. Remember that money we
Yep.
bumped over, right?
Yep.
So then now that's going to cover K to all 5 buildings with locks. So it sounds like the elementary, if they come in October 18th, should be done by November 1st or 2nd. And then the order will go in for middle school, high school, and then kind of go from there. At least that core lock project will be finished this school year.
And it's nice because it also gives us the opportunity to streamline the key plan, keys, return. There is a huge benefit to locking, adding a different lock, and everyone has a standardized key. That's
Yep.
very helpful.
Mhm.
I remember we did that. Are we okay with that at the middle school, or do they need those as well?
We actually do need it. Yeah, I'm really surprised that you would have imagined that a building that age, that young,
Mhm.
but no.
Because I
they need
remember
to be.
we already had to do something with all those locks when we,
We had to core them.
First open
Dave-
them.
And I say we, I mean Dave Weller.
Yes, Dave Weller had to do that. I remember that.
He does not remember that. I
He
mean, it is
doesn't?
not a fond memory of
I
it.
know, I'm sure.
So.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good. Well, that's great. Thank you again for all that grant writing.
Yeah.
I love
Good
it.
job.
Can't think of
Yeah.
any better way.
Good job. We appreciate it.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Security
Monthly-
report.
Yes, sir, monthly security report. So at the high school, we have one armed guard by the name of Joe Bucko. We have another that's an armed guard, I apologize. The unarmed guard is named Jamal Lewis. And then we have another unarmed guard that's also going through clearances now by the name of Tim Tinker, who was going through clearances now with Cardinals Point. So once his clearances come in, we should be okay over there at the high school. At the middle school, we have an armed guard of Kevin Knight, and then we have an unarmed guard named Eric Schubert. At the 4-5, we have an armed guard named Thomas O'Neill. Marlboro, we have an armed guard named Darren Buckwalter. And then Hereford, we have an armed guard named Ruben Rosibio. Yes.
So are any of these people, are they returning from
Yes,
last
so,
year?
so you have Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight, they put him as new, but Mr. Knight was at the high school last
Okay.
year. Well, he's over at the middle school this year, because he left and came back. The new guard, Jamal Lewis is new. That's a new gentleman. Tim Tinker will be new. Also, Darren Buckwalter at the Marlboro School is new.
Okay. Have we done anything like we did last year with I forget how it was done with introducing the guards to the students? Like at Marlboro or Hereford?
I would assume so. I would
I
assume
hope
they would
so.
have been brought in, and, obviously they're, whatever day they are now,
Can we check and make sure that was done?
yeah.
Thanks. All right, so a mix of new faces and
Some old.
some old too.
Yes, sir.
And right now, we're just short on the one
Yes.
unarmed for high school, but every other position is.
The exception of that 12 to 6 guard here at the
If
high
we
school,
can't-
they can't fill it.
Fine.
Everyone's simple solution is, we'll just make it full-time, and well,
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, sure.
a big deal.
that's a contract, and that's the
Right.
way it was written, and they said they could fill it, so.
Right. Do they have, do we have any thoughts, because that seems like a lot of new people, and I get that. Do they, Cardinal Point today, have any thoughts on better retention?
I was, had a quick meeting.
Good question, all right.
I had a quick meeting with my mentor over in Norristown by the name of Jeff Corwart, and Jeff is having the same problem with Cardinals Park.
Okay,
It's a Cardinal Point problem,
Okay.
retaining their people and constant revolving door.
okay,
You know, we did get them to commit to their employees to give them first day benefits, because Cardinal Point will make them wait for 3 months or 90 days or whatever
That's a
whatever it
long
was. So
time.
they was losing a lot of people off that,
Yeah.
and they wasn't retaining their people. But other than that, that's Cardinals
okay.
Point.
I just wondered.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's part of supply and demand right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true, too.
Of
And I can
charity.
tell you from the previous contractor to this contractor, they move heaven and earth to get someone here when someone's out.
Okay, good.
So when an elementary school is, that armed guard is out, they send a supervisor, they send someone out of their desk.
Yes.
That's armed, that's in the business, and that.
Sort of like Jen Mullen rides the buses.
They are doing,
Yes.
yeah,
Gotcha.
the previous contractor, well, there was
it was too bad.
So sad, too bad. I mean, they couldn't, they just didn't have them.
Okay,
So-
all right, I just thought I'd ask
Yeah.
a question while we're talking about it.
Yep.
Do we have any penalties or anything written into the contract event with them not filling that part-time position?
Not penalties,
I don't
sir.
recall
It's-
penalties.
It's more so of, no penalties. I'll be honest with you, no penalties. I mean, we could hold back money, that'd be something that Drew.
Well, they don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
They're not-
Yeah.
They get billed on, they get billed
They
as
get billed,
it
yeah.
happens.
Right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but the relationships are still strong. I mean, it's the same gentleman at Hereford that was there all of last year, so those relationships are strong, and
Good.
they continue to do a good job with the
Yeah,
students.
that's where I was going with that, the
Mhm.
relationship part of it.
Can,
Well, no,
excuse me, can I ask a
452,
question?
sir.
now?
We retained the
Yeah.
gentleman at 452, the guard at 45. He's also was here last year.
Yeah.
so,
Go ahead, Vern.
Mr. Howard,
Yes, sir.
I don't see the guards we used to have from, was it Ballackinwood or somewhere? Like for football and stuff? We don't have that company anymore? We're using what we have now then?
Yeah,
He's a
Is that
Cardinal
it?
Point, yes.
Yeah, Cardinal
Mhm.
Point, okay.
Yeah, that's who we have on the fields, yes, sir.
Good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Now going back to the feasibility study, our standing discussion item. Turf track upgrades and the gym floor for the high school.
It's a wish list of mine personally.
Yeah. Okay.
For the gym.
But I mean, we
floor.
got the report on the turfs though, that
Yeah, they were good.
they're good.
Yeah, they're fair. They're in fair condition. There's no
The
problem.
high school was fair,
Mhm.
Keeney Stadium was fair,
Yep.
Tribe Field was good,
Mhm.
from what I remember.
Yep.
So,
The GMAX testing, yeah.
yeah, that all came in good.
Yeah.
That's good, because we were talking in finance earlier about turf fields, and we're trying to see how long we have
Yeah.
will help us figure out how
Can
to
you tell the
allocate.
future?
When-
uh,
when-
Yeah.
when-
Get the crystal ball.
When me and Bobby talk about it, as far as going, when we starting to talk about it and putting things together, Bobby biggest thing is from athletic director standpoint, he would like to concentrate on the gym right now, due to the gym floor, the bleachers, because when the bleachers come down, they're sitting directly on the floor to where the coaches and the score table, it's like they're back up against to it. So our coaches are pushed out a little bit more. So Bobby would like to concentrate more so on the gym floor, if that's something that can happen immediately within the next 1 or 2 years. And then, because turfs is going to be a big one, you know, with the football.
Do we have any
field.
thoughts on how much for the gym floor?
We're looking at around, cost about 300,000,
Okay, I thought that was about it.
something around there.
Well, if that's the floor, I just heard you say bleachers.
Yeah, bleachers,
something
yeah,
to
does
look
that-
into.
That adds a little bit more to it, but just for the floor itself, between 255 to 300. Last time me and Bobby had someone out just to give us a rough estimate.
And the person who we've had come back and look at those floors every year, or
Oh, yeah,
resurface them, he
yes.
said he's done.
Yeah. Well,
Can't
Yeah,
do
we were
anything
on the
with it.
last life, if I
Right.
remember correctly.
We can't,
me and him talked. He came back, he did, you know, cleaned everything up for us and made it all nice and shiny, put the new wax down. And he said, Mr. Howard, I'll continue to work with the district as long as you guys continue to work with me, but also show me that you're showing some effort of getting this replaced. And I told him that, you know, you're definitely looking into it. So he will continue to keep working with us.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Well, back to
We-
the turf fields for a moment, though, you know,
Yeah.
good to fair, did they give any indication as to how many years?
No, they won't do that. Mm-mm.
Nothing at all?
It's just an inspection
I
and
don't wanna
say,
commit to that.
hey, everything's good. Yeah, they don't want to do
GMAC
that.
testing is testing it, you know, for cushiness and for
Right.
lack of a better
Right.
term and safety wise.
I guess, what affects that, does the weather affect that a great deal, or is it just
Yeah, we had a couple
use?
mild winters the
Yeah.
last
The
couple
ultraviolet
Mm-hmm.
rays of the sun breaks it down.
Okay,
Yeah,
We did some repair work on the turf last year.
Yeah, I remember.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
yeah.
If my memory serves me right, it's year 14.
yeah.
14.
Mhm.
14, yeah.
Yeah,
And Mr. Howard and I.
It's outlasted its shelf life.
we know.
Right.
Yeah.
So we talked about having, it. Again, was sure part of my goals of some of the work to get this nailed down a little better than, you know, thinking about it, kind of put a year on it and see where it goes and then map it out with the dollar figure across the bottom. I vision it, Dr. Farina, like a curriculum review, right? Here are the reviews, here's the dollars, here's what it looks like every year. So if you invest X amount each year, you have a steady flow of upkeep.
Do we have any GMAX reports from like 5 years ago? And was it in good, or?
I'm sure they are there.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
about that now, because
See if
maybe
there's
that
some
would
kind of
give us an
trend.
idea,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
It would
good
give us an
thought.
idea, if we're still
Maybe you could talk to
fair and
Bobby
good,
See if he has any of those.
in 5 more years, are we gonna be fair and good, or
Usually see what Doug got.
poor?
Yeah.
I usually get-
See if we have the
usually
the old
first come
reports.
in. Bobby gets them too, but.
JP,
I can look up.
Go ahead, Mike.
I just suggest if we're not gonna replace the turf, that is communicated to the public. Because, we had that little bit of that flurry at the end of the summer going into fall. The parents thought we were replacing the turf, and it didn't happen. So I think there needs to be some communication that goes out so that, especially the sports parents of the teams that use the turf the most, probably needs some communication.
What was communicated that it was changed, it was gonna be.
Yeah, that was the rumor.
Room, right.
You know how that goes.
It's a rumor.
But still, there's people that, from what I'm hearing, are expecting it to be replaced next year.
Their taxes didn't go up enough to do that yet. Okay, I didn't say that.
I won't touch that comment yet.
Sorry, no, I'm just kidding.
I know in KCBA's feasibility study, when they mapped out, and I'm presuming they looked at those reports, they had that in a 3 to 5 year window. So I don't know if there's some sort of end of life that is associated with that, but that was back in '21.
Just
They
say, yeah, we're
completed
three into
that,
that
so.
Well, they tell you 10 to 12 years, right? That's what they tell you when
Mhm.
you're buying it, because you don't care about it in 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, right, you
at
forget
that
about
point.
it till then.
Right.
All right, well, I'm just asking Mr. Howard to keep this on so that we don't lose sight
Yeah.
of the feasibility piece and the ongoing work. I think we've had enough right now with the abatement conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, as just with that, the other pieces to that puzzle will continue to go up each year if there's going to be,
We keep waiting.
if we keep waiting. I think everyone, if any rumor I've heard, it's the high school needs the most help, renovation, support, whatever the answer is. And
Support.
again, the abatement piece is not sexy. It's not, it's not
But it's necessary.
It's the behind the scenes
Doesn't-
stuff that you don't see.
It doesn't
Yeah.
show anything,
Right,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right.
except the people that,
Right, right. So, we have to do that as well, so, all right, we'll keep that going and we'll get you better pieces on the.
I will say, I'm not on this committee, but I would make a pitch for the replacement of the gym doors, though.
They're still not replaced, the back ones, like, that we go out for
No, I
thought we were-
graduation?
No, yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alan, I had to
fine.
say it because it is not, it's, yeah.
There's
Oh,
still
that's 'cause
order
they're
coming in under?
expensive, right?
Well, they're original to the building.
Okay.
They're shot.
So maybe we put
Exterior-
I
that,
was hoping
That has to happen.
Exterior
If
doors are shut.
any flooring, that has to happen.
Yeah.
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 So maybe add it to this
The flooring.
gym floor / doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we memorialize that? I think that's fair. If that's gonna be a problem for floors, then yeah.
Well, the other part of the floor is,
It's
are
related.
we also installing volleyball standards? Because that's not the typical gym floor of 250,000. It's going to be drilling, and that should be done as a part of the upgrade to that area.
Well, yeah, you gotta be smart about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's 6 holes, it's not 2, right? It's the 2 main and then the 2 side and 2 side for that, so.
Go ahead, Bernie.
how would the gym upgrade do with the other thing, abatement? Because there's abatement in the gym and then the gym floor. It can't be done together.
Right, that's.
It can't be done at the
it's-
But we
same
didn't
time.
say we were doing that.
Yeah, we
right?
didn't say we
No.
were doing it, but,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but, yeah.
Yeah, your point's
I don't know if
valid.
it's gonna be abatement.
If we're saying the high school's gonna be shut
So
down for
there's
abatement, then that
25%
doesn't,
In that,
that's part of the, you
Area.
can't do
The
it.
area, right, but,
and in the hallway,
yeah.
there.
At least not this year. Go ahead, Peg.
Yikes. Bake sales and cars.
Do you have something, Peg? I thought you did. Oh, sorry.
Palpitations?
Yeah, right. All right, we'll move off of that one.
Let's know if we call
God,
EMS.
6,500.
We can go to new business then. Let's talk about the summer projects that did happen.
Okay.
Some of the projects that did happen,
It's past summer.
that was completed, was striping throughout district-wide. band parking lot, bus lots, from Hereford all the way up to Marlboro. Barriers were done, insulated throughout the district. We also did a lot of work at the wastewater plant, in-house repairs. We did a lot of fixing and just keeping that up to date as much as possible to keep that going. We also installed, as you guys know, 4-5 fencing around the perimeter of the playground. We also was able to order the Giza project at the 4-5 to install the hot water heater, 100-gallon tank. So we was able to get that done this summer. Hereford, we cleaned up the courtyard, made it maintenance free. Hereford's courtyard, so that's all cleaned up. We also did some repainting in there.
It looks nice, by the way.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
I saw it when I went to read, it looks beautiful.
Thank you. We enhanced the curb appeal at Hereford a lot.
Yes.
We painted the sign. We just did a lot of little things. We poured out some weeds and bushes, little rocks. So it's just we just enhanced it. The high school, we remodeled the office, the principal's office, the admin office. We also did a lot of work on the pool this summer. We was able to identify some things. I spent some time down there with a couple of different pool contractors as well as with the team, and we was able to identify a lot of things and able to fix a lot of things. So that was good for the
What
pool.
things were you?
The cracking, the pool was losing water every day. I had a steady leak, and the leak was in the floor to where the valve was in the floor. So once we discovered where the valve was at and the water was constantly passing, almost like somebody opened up a bypass just to let it flow, we was able to crunkle down and turn that off. So instead of the guys coming in on weekends, seeing that the water was below level, because the water kept going below level,
Right.
they would get alarms and stuff like that. Now we don't have that. Since we took care of that problem, we haven't had one alarm, or the pool hasn't dipped below where it needed to be at all.
So
Ooh,
was
that's
it the
good.
filtration tank that got the wall, it was a 4-foot section of the filtration tank wall? I think we looked at that pool study from the feasibility study as well, because there was quite a bit of urgency in there. There's a lot of things that do need fixed at the pool. But it was the filtration tank, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So we put a nice big Band-Aid on it.
Well, that's
And-
good,
and
because
also
that'll
the-
also save us sewer and water money.
Yeah.
So between that and the passing valve that was in the floor and the cracks on the filtration tank, like Dr. Andrew said, we was able to patch all that up, and we was able to stop that leaking with that valve as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
The middle school, just minor repairs throughout the school. We just did a lot of different things throughout the middle school, just repairs and in-house repairs. And that was about it for the summer report, for what was completed.
Okay. It's a good list. So, looks like a lot of stuff was done, so. We're happy.
Always.
All right, we'll move on to the facility naming requests.
So I just handed out the packet to the board of the facility meeting request that came in for Steve Ruby. I also handed out a piece of paper that was previous building and facility dedications. I've gone through and tried to find as many of these as I can. I have a list in my office where some of these are not listed, like on the buildings. This is a list from Dr. Bonakemper, so I'm sure it's pretty accurate. But some of them have specific, plaques and different things, and others, there were principals that were like, I didn't even know that was, I didn't know the library was dedicated, because it's been since a previous time. So this is as up-to-date of the list from August 28th. I did check with the principals on that and walked the high school to make sure that either they were there or that's a piece of that. Just I think it was important for the committee to have this request.
So yeah, the request is to name what was it?
This was the
The high school gym for Steve Ruby, who was the former coach of the high school basketball team. That was, I guess, the only coach to successfully capture a championship.
But back in the 60s, the
Back in the
Bucks
60s,
won.
yeah.
Yeah. Bucks won.
You here with this one?
No, I didn't.
Okay, okay. Yep.
So his daughter Alyssa had contacted me in the spring, and I told her the process to follow.
Okay.
And when we spoke, I talked to her about the facilities, and I told her that the high school gym was already dedicated to Ralph Engel, that, consider the 4-5 gymnasium, because that really is the iconic gym in the school district, because that was the high school. And I think Steve played most of the games there, so she submitted the 4-5 gymnasium as a secondary choice. But,
So the 4-5 gym was the actual playing gym at the time of the championships?
Yeah.
Just to
Yep.
get that in complete
Yeah.
sentence.
Yeah, that's where they played. That was the original high school.
And you were not part of the high school at that time,
No, I
even
was-
though you
I
were
was-
involved
I
in
was-
so many other things.
Yeah.
I was like 5 or 6 when
Yeah.
they won the championship, so.
So you went to see it.
And Alyssa included a picture of the team, and I'm not related to any of those people. So I just-
That was the next question.
But I did coach Alyssa in school. She was field hockey. I coached her in field hockey. So. And she has an older sister, Stacy, so they all went to school there.
She
So-
reached out through email to make sure what the process was. I explained the
Sure.
process, that it may take some time. She said she may or may not be able to attend tonight. So I believe that's the part of the policy. You see the first sheet there, the naming policy that goes here.
Mhm.
And
Steve was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame in the spring at the Blue and Gold, so. And Alyssa and Stacy were here for that, so.
So if you're correct, this list is correct, then the 4-5 center gym is already named for Victor Stahl, but there's no plaque.
yeah, again, that I can update the high school ones, but yeah, for that one specifically, I think I asked Mr. Vigilante. He went down and looked and said, I don't see anything.
And
Okay.
But this was on the list from Mr. Bonnekemper, Dr. Bonnekemper, sorry.
I don't know, do we consider double naming facilities? I knew Vic Stahl. Vic Stahl was my cheerleader in high school. He wrote all the when he
Yeah.
did the sports articles for the Town and Country.
For the Town and
Remember
Country,
Vic? Yeah. And I didn't realize that the gym was named after him until George Bonnekemper came up with this list, so I don't know if we consider double naming facilities.
So what exactly do they want?
And if we do, then her first choice would be the high school gym, and,
Right.
which is already dedicated to Ralph Engel.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So the last sheet of the little packet I gave you is a copy of their proposed sign.
Yeah.
I think the last one. And then the middle part of the packet is just testimonials and support.
Yeah, I did read them.
We read them.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
What's that?
All right, so, I mean, to get down to actual brass tacks.
Go ahead.
So if it were the high school, we are, signs to be placed on the interior door, what does that do to St. Luke's stuff? What do we have on,
St. Luke's.
yeah, don't we have, isn't that where, on interior doors?
We have signage for them?
Yeah.
No, not on the.
No, we've got the.
What do we have there?
The display things down there that says St. Luke's and everything.
Well, yeah.
But they're not dedications, they are more.
No, I know.
Yeah, I don't-
uh,
Advertising.
I don't
Advertising
think there's any,
stuff,
I mean, I don't think if you hang any of these,
the graphics.
something like this, or it's on the inside, similar to the one that was just put up for Dr. Berzing. It's just on the inside door
Okay.
next to the
I'm
room.
just asking
No,
the
I don't
question.
think it would impact anything St. Luke's related.
Okay.
But-
Yes, I wouldn't want to take the naming away from anybody else if something's already named.
Yeah.
To
There's
your
a
point,
little-
Peg, of doing.
There's a little plaque for Ralph Engel above the one entrance door. But that's the only signage that I recall of the high school gym. And then I never saw any signage for Vic Stahl at the.
Yeah,
football.
There is no
could the
signage.
principal find it?
Yeah.
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 But if it happened, somebody knows it happened.
Well, to that point, Trina, Ralph Engel does have living relatives in the area. Vic Stahl does not. But there are acquaintances that knew Vic Stahl. But I don't know how many people know that 4-5 was dedicated to him at one point. That happened, what, 92?
92?
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
We like naming things in the 90s. I'm not totally opposed to double, hanging a similar plaque kind of near each other. I'm not particularly opposed.
Both names on one plaque? Slash?
Or that, I
Yeah.
don't know, like, why not? Is it possible we have more than one great human in this community that deserves a gym named after them?
I like that porta potty named after.
There
the
you go,
town.
perfect.
Please note that.
Can you get that on the next?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Looks like you're gonna say something.
I was thinking on the other side, after Peg said that in most of these games occurred in the 4 or 5 center, I think if you named it that, you would have the people that are here in the community that would see, hey, that's where we went to high school. You have the people here in the community that says, this is where I went to high school. Peg says it all the time, this is where I went to grade school, this is where I went to high school. And among other things, and I think that naming the auditorium, the gymnasium there for that person, for that accomplishment would make better sense and would have more of a tie to the community than putting it in the gymnasium for something that was built in, what were built here mid-90s? Was the high school? I don't know.
68.
68.
68?
68 was the first
Okay.
year. Was that?
90s.
Whoa.
Yeah, we went.
Well, I'm seeing all
It should
these.
be- which high school you at?
Yeah.
There have been so many renovation school projects that I know of, so.
And to be honest with you, I really did try to steer Alyssa towards the 4-5 gym for that reason.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the iconic gym.
So it'd be like, if my high school still existed and I was a stellar athlete or academic or whatever, I'd recommend, something that meant something to me that tied me to that physical place. Or the elementary school, something like that, if we had multiple buildings. If I
Right.
went to Catholic school, it doesn't really matter, because they don't do that. But I would think, tying it to a place that the actual events were related to would be a better sense for me.
I hear that, but the relative literally wants the high school. I don't know. I don't know if it's our call to say, whatever. I guess it is our call.
Yeah,
That's why we're
it is.
here.
It is.
It's your call
I mean,
to
they-
say if it's anything, if you use the criteria and you go through what reading,
Right.
everyone's already read through it and feels like, yes, this is someone that should be recognized, I would caution about having a new sign,
Mhm.
because we don't pay for the signs of the district. Typically, that's on the nominee or the team, whoever's
It says it
running them.
on the last
I would be
Yeah.
surprised if somebody would want to name something, the gymnasium, as a slash with somebody they'd never met,
Yeah.
pay for that sign.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work, or maybe they'd be thrilled to do it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, 2 signs. Leave the one, add one? Or is that,
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. But some of them don't have plaques, or we, rely on what's already there.
How close are you with Alyssa, Peg?
Oh, I can call her, tomorrow.
Okay. Would you feel comfortable asking her what her feelings were if we did a split sign or something like
Oh,
that
sure,
for
yeah.
4-5? Because I think I'm kind of with Keith on this, where that's where it happened. That's probably where it should be named. So,
Peg's probably familiar with this one. It's like Plymouth Rock. It was the Rock over here, but, not
Thanks,
the-
Camille. What do you mean?
She wasn't paying attention.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my.
all right, so maybe we'll,
JP, just so I'm clear, you want me to ask her about a split sign at 4-5?
No, split sign at the high school or a sign at the 4-5.
Okay.
Which you would prefer.
And
It's
there's
not really
no
a
plaque
split
already
sign.
at 4
Well,
5.
If you rely on this list, there would be a split at the middle, at
yeah,
the.
Either
4 or
one.
5
Or, I'm sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
but
there's
but there actually isn't anything there,
Agreed. I mean,
so,
we can go ahead and update this list, and anyone that doesn't, if it doesn't have a physical plaque there, I don't think that's wise, because I think someone will walk by and say, I thought my dad or grandpa was about that, or, but, we can only go by the information that was presented, and
Well,
that's verified.
And again, just so I'm clear, am I asking her, if she agrees to a split sign, am I asking her to put the 2 names on the
No.
sign? No, just,
no, just her sign. We'll have a second sign
okay.
at the high school or a single sign.
Who's paying for that?
Yeah, who's paying for that?
Keith's.
He's
No,
paying
wait,
for
wait a
it.
minute. You just said that they pay for their own sign.
Correct.
So,
But that's,
it's-
but the Stahl family isn't, we're not gonna call them up and say, hey, guys, we
We're-
named something, you think you could pay for that sign now?
Yeah, and there's no.
That we don't
You're saying
have.
we overwrite
There's
that?
literally
I
no
know.
one.
I know.
Right?
I know.
well, there's
I was
nothing
being
there
facetious.
posted, so I don't know.
Steven used to say facetious.
Can we go back and find paperwork that relates to that? I mean, probably not. That's not our
Dr.
records.
Bonakemper is a walking,
Yeah, he
I-
should. is.
I know.
Taking information.
yeah, it just has it, so. This was the list that we couldn't find for a while, right?
We don't have a
Should've asked
name,
me, I had it.
we don't have a name for tribe yet either. Keeney-1.
We're not talking about that yet either.
Yeah.
No talking. No.
I mean, Alyssa, when she reached out to me through email, was happy to come to the meeting or talk about it. I didn't know if she was coming tonight or not,
Yeah.
tonight, so.
Let's keep it on the agenda.
But it
Maybe
sounds like you're in
take-
favor of doing something.
I think
You
we're
guys are
in
past the
favor of doing
criteria of
something,
saying,
it's
yes,
just
this is
what
someone that we
matters.
should, this is someone's accomplishments and that we believe should. Now it's
Yes.
really a matter of where. I think that's a different
Where and
message.
how,
I
yes.
think it's a different message
Yeah.
from the committees.
Peg, could you kind of relay that to her? Like, we like it, we want to talk about it some more.
And see if she
Because of the,
can stop by.
because of the other namings.
for next month's
Yeah.
meeting.
Is that your feeling too, Melanie?
No, but that's okay.
Oh, no, not really?
No, it's okay.
Oh.
I don't like naming anything.
Do you want me to invite her?
Wow,
Yeah,
JP.
I
I don't
want
care
me
what
to
happens to
do that.
JP, he's not going on anywhere.
JP,
JP, do you want me to invite her to the October meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that'd be good.
is she in the area?
If
She's in
the
Jersey,
area. Oh,
just across the road.
well,
She wants to make the drive, but.
yeah, it's up to her.
Yeah, she can
I
always
thought she was
email
local.
us
If she's not local, I
or communicate with Drew.
okay.
I'll name that.
All right. So we'll keep that on. The Eagle Scout project.
I know we were emailing back and forth about that. I invited the student. I haven't heard from them all summer, so I don't know where it is or not. This was the
Yeah.
Gaga
For the Gaga pit?
at Marlboro,
Oh, that's right.
from one of our students that's an Eagle Scout. I talked to Mrs. Stevens, she was open to it, said she would find space. There was some initial concerns about, kind of oversight, and, was it be a place, would it be an area where kids could just go use it, or she would work through all those details.
Yeah.
I had a general first concern about 2 years from now, Hereford's like, well, where's our Gaga pit? Just something that for us to be aware of in terms of not a reason to not have the student put that together, but I haven't heard anything all summer. Did invite them to come and can reach back out.
Yeah, if you do that, just see if he's still interested in doing it, and we'll go from there, so. Keep that one on the agenda too.
Keep that one on as well.
Yep. Okay, Hereford Electronics.
Yes.
3202.
This is just basically, we did some work there in the summertime as far as upgrading with the, taking out the phone line to where now it dials, remoteness wireless. So this is a continue to support that some more. So we'll be identified over at Hereford when we did the walkthrough, is that we need another wireless receiver, a wireless repeater, 16 wireless transmitters due to the fact of some doors didn't have transmitters on them. So for instance, the back door of Hereford, they have 2 doors, so that's counts as, 2. So you pop one on, pop another one on, that door opens, it's gonna send it back to the alarm. It's just a communication aspect. It's a safety aspect. So it sends back saying that door is open or that door is closed.
So that's a burglar alarm?
Yes.
So is this already done?
No, sir, this is what we identified, remember me and you and Jim was talking about, with electronic being there? Yes. This is something that I'll put on there it's a continuing update and with the security system through electronics.
Is this budgeted for this year to do this?
No, it's not budgeted for this year to do this. This was just something that no one approved anything. It was something that I wanted to bring you guys' attention to see how you guys felt about it.
Do we need any of this stuff at any of the other schools?
No, not right now, just Hereford. I mean, we do have a budgeted line for electronics in the budget, for service work and different things in that aspect.
Well, that seems to be kind of an important one.
Yeah. So are you looking for approval to do this, or is it,
Yeah, see how you guys feel about it. Something I want your guys' opinion about.
I guess we have to see the quote and understand exactly what everything
Yeah,
being
it's
asked
it's
for
not in the
is.
budget, let's see the quote and let's see the scope of work.
Yeah.
Okay. For the 4 or 5, hot water tank. This will be the second hot water tank off the Giza study. That will complete that project at the 4 or 5 from the Giza project or the Giza study. So that hot water heater is for $6,224.95.
So that's different than the one
Yes,
that was fixed
That you
over the
already
summer,
One
Yeah.
replaced.
replaced over the summer.
This is part of the Giza project. That we did it two. One lag and one lead. One lead and one lag, my apologize. So you have one that's your main boiler, and then you have a number 2. That's
Right.
what they revised in the Giza project. So,
Okay.
so I'm seeking approval if you guys would like to move forward with that, or if that's something that you would like to wait upon for the summertime. Because right now, we just have one hot water heater at 4 or 5 running.
And it's brand new?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, I was beginning to
Yeah.
forget what I'm listening to anymore, okay. So I mean, what's we only have one running right now, the other one's like kaput?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, she blew on us.
yeah.
Yeah, she blew on us.
So you would, so if something
is-
happens to number 1,
We have no number
we have
2.
no hot water here?
Yeah, we don't have redundancy, unfortunately.
Okay.
Is that the purpose of this one, for backup?
Yes, well, it was for the Giza, part of the Giza study. So they wanted, well, they suggest that we have 2 industrial hot water heaters there, one lead, one lag, just like our boilers.
Okay.
In the budget.
It
This
should
year.
be more so of a capital project, sir. I would
I was
think.
looking at the cost,
Yeah,
6,000.
mhm,
'Cause I
6,000.
don't know if that's capital.
Yeah, I don't think that's big enough number, yeah.
It's not
It's
kept
not,
up?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
it's gonna be what,
Um,
over 10 for capital?
Age, year,
Could have
literally
improvements
brand
on
new, a
them.
year old.
Oh, no, sir, this is a brand new hot water heater that was installed over the summer. We
So
put-
we installed it over the summer.
Yes, we did.
I would be inclined to let it go to next summer.
Okay.
You know, if it fails, I'd have the damn people out there within hours.
Yeah,
If
that's
it
true.
fails when it's brand new.
Do we have a warranty on the
Yes,
first
ma'am,
one?
of course, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the type of projects that we would put in budgeting, very specific. This,
Yes.
3,000, this, and then through the budgeting conversation, if things gotta get tightened, then that's where those are,
Yeah,
they
this
may have
isn't
to come
any
here.
different than a new truck or a new plow or,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I think Craig's making us aware that there's no
Yeah.
redundancy, and if,
Yeah,
It's us to make the decision.
winging a prayer here.
Well-
No, it's not really a winging a prayer if it's brand
if
new.
you have-
Brand new, yeah.
if you have your main as a brand new.
Okay,
Now, if this was 5 to 10 years old, I'd be
I'd
thinking
worry
differently.
about it,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
What do you
Okay.
feel, Trina?
I agree, if it's the backup, I mean, the Giza study suggested it, but it's not mandatory, and if we have a brand-new one, I kind of agree with Keith there,
Okay.
so, yeah.
All right, so yeah, hold off on that one.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you just verify that there is a warranty?
Oh,
or
yes,
something?
ma'am.
Okay,
Mhm,
all right.
mhm. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Moving on to public comment.
Maybe that.
My name is Bev Sean Sayers, and I want to thank Trina and Dr. Roach and Mr. Howard. Trina pointed me in the right direction concerning something regarding my granddaughter who is in the 4-5 center, and I got an immediate response from Dr. Roach and Mr. Howard. So I just wanted to thank you both for doing that so promptly. This is my situation. I have a 4th grade granddaughter who, upon starting school, is exhibiting extreme signs of asthma. This is completely new. It's never been diagnosed previously. She is under the care of a physician. It is the physician's belief that at this time, it's something that she's inhaling. It's airborne. So I did get copies of ingredients from Mr. Howard of some of the sanitizing agents and things that are being used in the school. and I appreciate that. I have to ask the question, and my concern as a grandparent and as just a concern for other employees and students, I have a concern that there may be mold in the building. And I feel like we have to explore that on behalf of my granddaughter, of course. I don't know, like, how your air quality, I don't know how your testing works. I don't know if there's a test that can be done to see if there is mold. I don't know if you have, like, is that something that you do regularly? I don't know any of that stuff, so I need a starting point from you all as we move forward to get this resolved with her. She is gonna have further testing, and it may be able to reveal, we don't know what it is at the present time, but this is where we need to start, because it's the only thing. It's gotta be school-related is what our feeling is. There's something, it's never happened at home, it's never happened outside, it's never happened in my home. We need a direction to start with. I also, I know that there was something on Facebook, and I want to assure each and every one of you that I will never take that route. I will continue to come directly to you all to have the questions answered and to get help and direction. The one thing I do want to ask you directly is that whole building in use? I know it's old, and I haven't been in it for a very long time. Is there any part of that building that is shut down? And if so, do you know what the reason is?
Because we don't need it?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
so
you- okay.
the right side is not occupied with exception to the old shop down there and the
Okay.
gymnasium, the first bottom floor.
Okay.
When it was converted to a 4th and 5th grade center, it's just that we didn't need that side of the building. So
Okay.
there are, some of our IT people are on that side, but students on that first floor with the office, those classrooms are not occupied at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Also, I don't know if this is true, because we all know that gossip occurs. I have to ask the question, was there a major leak in the roof? Does anybody know that? Was there roofing issues there that anybody is aware of or can contribute when that may have happened, or?
Over offices, but wasn't that a year or so ago
So-
we had it done, redone?
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, the roof, there are sections of the roof that need repair even now.
Yeah.
That was part of a grant
Okay.
that we wrote for this year, we're still waiting to hear. But the main office, which is where there was a leak, was repaired last year.
Okay, okay. I'm very thankful that you sent me the list of the filters and when they were being changed. I appreciate that, and I know that it's being done on a regular basis. I think my concern is mold throughout the HVAC, and I don't know how you know that. Once again, I need input to see what the procedure would be for the building.
So I would ask the question, and I just don't remember because I read a lot of air quality reports,
Okay.
but it's been quite a few years since I've read
Okay.
them. Not that
Okay.
we haven't done any more,
I
I just haven't
understand.
read them. I don't know exactly, so do we have that air quality stuff done? Did we just have it done before and after the 4-5 renovation? Do we have to, I don't know what the rules
We
are.
definitely had it done
Right.
going in from the summer of 19 to get the building open and
Okay.
the certificate of occupancy. Since that time, and I'll defer to Mr. Howard or Dr. Farina, I know there's been additional testing, home tests more so, I think, from some other questions that have come up, for those same things. And one of the tests, Dr. Farina, they said the outside air was worse than the inside air.
Oh, that's right, I remember that.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Now that you say that.
And as I said to you on the phone, we've had other people have similar questions, and, and that's the same conversation. Yours specifically concerned, you said, was in the.
In the area of the cafeteria,
Yeah, that
it
was even
seems
more interesting, because
consistently
that's highly
that
traveled,
one
highly
area.
ventilated, yeah, that's interesting.
And again, I did think, Dr. Roach, that faculty there has been nothing but outstanding helping my granddaughter. So you may not hear a lot of praise, but I want you to know that the nurse and each and every teacher that has assisted her has been nothing but wonderful.
Great,
Yeah, that's
Thank
good.
you.
Yes.
It's nice to hear those comments,
Yep,
for sure.
we call them shout outs.
That's right.
So, I mean,
Mr. Howe, what did you do? It was a concern a couple months or maybe a year ago.
We had somebody look at the HVAC system over the holiday break. So
Okay.
we had no mold in the HVAC system. So
Is that documented?
I can get that for you.
Thank you, I
I'll-
would appreciate
I'll have to
that.
find it, but I can get that for you. yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much.
you're lucky in old times here, you'd have to file a right to know request to get that. Yes, I know, I've done that before. Before I was on the board.
I would rather just talk directly,
Yes, I
honestly.
agree. I agree.
Okay, so you'll follow up with her then?
That was JCI who did that work for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I cover it?
Honestly, the way we've talked, there's nothing to hide, and
Nope.
Nope.
and if there is a problem, we have to address it. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
that's just so, that's as
We
simple
haven't
as
seen
it
any
is.
uptick or
Right.
anything in any, that you've heard
Did we
nurse-wise
get-
or?
No, I don't, not from the nurses, no, not specifically. Again, when you shared that it was in a calf, I was like, wow, that's
Yeah, I never heard.
a really highly traveled,
Yeah,
highly
you
clean,
would
the
think that
the
would
doors
be-
are open.
That is kind of why I went the direction of asking for what the ingredients
Sure,
were and the
right.
sanitizing
Yep.
things being used, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you get the information from Mr. Howard.
Yes, thank
And
you.
then if something's still not to your satisfaction or whatever it is, please come back and
Absolutely, I
And see
will.
us again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll help you out
Thank
best
you,
we
Mr.
can.
Howard.
Yes, ma'am, my pleasure.
Any other public comment? Anybody?
So this is directed to Craig and probably Alan. I was wondering what conversations were being had about moving the bullpens out of the varsity baseball field for matters of safety, and if you're talking about relocating those outside of the playing area.
I haven't been a part of any conversation with the exception of Mr. Kerbig saying that there was a request. That was it. I haven't been on any more in-depth conversation.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't had any depth conversation with Mr. Curry about that.
Is there going to be any conversation about moving them out?
Well, I'm gonna have a meeting with Bobby this month, but I definitely add that onto the agenda.
Okay.
So we want to move them on, Ms. Page?
Yeah, because in the spring at one of the varsity baseball games, one of our players made a play
Okay,
and kind of slid into the bullpen that's on the third baseline and sliced his shoulder because there's like metal sticking out that surrounds
Yeah, I was
the.
gonna
can I
say,
take a view of that?
surrounds
This is my first time hearing of this. Can I see that?
Yeah, so, these are just pictures of the varsity field and where the bullpens are located down the first baseline and the third baseline, and they're in play. And so, I don't know, I think it's a risk management issue and a liability issue for the district. It's not a Title IX issue, because I heard that getting thrown around as well. The Title IX issue is that softball doesn't have bullpens. So that's the Title IX issue there, but that's a safety concern, guys. And
Can I keep this, Ms. Page?
Yeah, you can have that.
Something I can bring on the agenda with Bobby when we
yeah,
can discuss
and
this?
I know the parties that are concerned about this will also contribute in-time labor to help move the bullpens outside of the playing area to a safer location.
Is that you, Peg?
Well, I will help if they ask me to, but
All right, so
No.
why don't you have the conversation, Mr. Kurzweg, and then maybe have a brief update for us
Yes, sir.
next month?
Update it. Sure will.
Okay.
thank you.
Great.
Any other public comment? Good. Any committee members?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Oh, next meeting will be October 22nd. So I know it says on the agenda October 28th, but we moved it to October 22nd.
Is that right?
So October 22nd, I'm in Patterson.
That was the 20.
22nd, 23rd?
22nd.
Oh, let me check my calendar.
The 21st, I thought, for.
Yeah, I thought it was the
facilities.
21st.
We tried, but we moved it to Tuesday the
I
22nd.
gotta find
We
my-
tripled up on Tuesday instead
Oh,
of.
Yeah.
tripled up on Tuesday. okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's finance on the, I'm sorry, it's,
So could we still have facilities and finance on Monday?
hold on. let me
Finance
find
and then
this.
facilities?
I'm the problem with facilities.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I'm at the pet.
Which one was which?
I'm a
So
member.
the dates on the back of the agenda, that one has to be changed then, huh?
You'll get, yeah, we'll update it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get it, don't worry.
we'll get it updated on the
Yeah.
website.